Hi, this is Scott Jordan, and you are watching live here at Cellars of Sonoma in beautiful Railroad Square, Santa Rosa, California. And welcome to TV Tuesday Live. This is the show where we taste wine, we talk about wine. I've got Dave Batt in the house.
I am.
Yes. And tonight we're going to feature the wines in the Wine Club shipment. If you've got your shipment, that would be the Cellar Club has already received their shipment. If you want to pull a bottle out when we taste along with us, let us know what you think.
Are you thinking chug-a-lug, or are you just kind of...
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah. Take a taste. When we take a taste, see what you think. Let us know, and use the little chat box. And all you do is just click on that and say, "Yeah, it sucks. Don't send me any more," or "Yes, it's great," or
I'm sure it won't happen that way.
No, it's 4 really killer wines. They're pretty good. I have to say.
All right.
They looked really good together, but they're all 4 red wines. So we kind of like to have. Thanks, Andrew. We kind of like to have a combination of white and red in the tasting, because it kind of goes with what normally would happen.
So they received all red, and so you're going to introduce today some whites and rosés to start with.
To start with, yeah. So
Perfect.
I thought we would use our dice roll as a way to find that out. So we have a roller there. All right.
All right. A high roller.
Yeah, you can. Sure.
All right, here we go.
And
what's that say?
What is it? 8.
2 4s?
2 4s. We get to
Wow.
roll again.
8. So now Andrew,
I know what 8 is. I saw it earlier.
Andrew's picking 8.
Yeah. So we may have to skip around a little bit on rosé to the white wine if we end up rolling a white, but I thought it would be nice to throw something else in there. This is a great little wine. This is Deering. This is their rosé 2013.
What is this, Pinot Noir or what?
It's a Pinot Noir.
Excellent.
And yeah, it comes from the Rocchioli vineyard, and that's
I've heard
pretty
of that one.
good stuff.
Pretty darn good. They have a great name for themselves.
Yeah. So rosé, as you know, is made from just about any red grape, really. I think you have to be a little selective in price point, because you don't really see a lot of cabs, for example.
Well, I think people think rosé must be sweet, like White Zinfandel, which it isn't always.
No.
In this case, it's a really dry,
Bone dry.
rosé.
Yeah. And so because of it being dry, it makes it very versatile. So it's a wine that can go with a lot of things in your meal plan. So,
Or by itself.
or by itself, sitting out on a raft in your pool with a cigar.
Is this a fantasy you have, perhaps?
No, that's me tomorrow. Tomorrow's my official day off. I don't really ever get a day off, but tomorrow's my official day off, and I'm playing golf in the morning. Well, no, I'm delivering wine to be shipped out
To you guys. To you guys.
to some peeps, and then I'm going to Healdsburg to drop off 2 bottles of wine for an event that's coming up. If you're planning for stuff in the future, it's called Food and Wine Affair, and it's in November. I think it's like the second weekend, and we make a recipe that pairs up with a certain wine, and each winery that you go to has that, and it's the coolest event. It's one of the better.
So when you arrive, you taste the wine that's paired with the food.
With the food.
You move on to another location.
Yep. So I have to drop the bottles off tomorrow.
Excellent.
So they can take pictures to use there'll be a cookbook online, and you'll see the recipes from all of the wineries that are involved, and it's kind of cool. So we're going to do the Hawaiian grilled cheese and that's going to be paired up with Pinot Noir, so we'll have several Pinots that should match up quite nicely. And then we're going to have Brie grilled cheese.
All right.
That'll pair up with Deering's Grenache Blanc, and then I'll add maybe a Sauvignon Blanc.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
cool,
So
very cool.
I have to do that tomorrow, and then I'm going to play golf, and then it's
What?
going to be very hot, so I'm going to go lay out by the pool, and I'll get burnt, and I like that. So I will have, because
Mr.
that was a
Lobster.
long story to tell you what, I will probably enjoy a wine like this quite
And
nicely.
his lobster skin will be this
My,
color.
yeah,
right
my
there.
skin will look just like that.
There you go.
And for those of you that don't know, on my days off normally, I go wine tasting because I'm kind of a wine junkie. So as crazy as it is, surrounded with literally hundreds of bottles of wine all the time, I go wine tasting. But what I look for when I go wine tasting, I look for rosé. I'm a really big rosé fan. I don't like, there is one style that I don't like. And it's associated with a cat and an issue.
Oh,
That's
oh.
really ugly, awfully disgusting. I can't deal with that. That odor just is terrible.
Oh.
So sometimes you'll get a rosé and it'll have that cat.
Is this varietal
Urine.
called Sauvignon?
Yeah.
It rhymes with Sauvignon
Yuck.
Franc, perhaps?
Yeah, I don't know, but it's terrible.
Right.
But I don't see a lot of it. But I love the rosés, and I like creativity. I keep seeing Grenaches, which I like a lot.
Huh?
Those are quite nice. I've seen a couple of different blends like Zin and Syrah and things like that. But most of them are Pinot, I think. And so I look for them because I dig the rosés.
Well, I dig Pinots anyway, but to put it into a winemaking process by which you take the grape skins away sooner, getting less of the color, more of that rosé, which really is not like rosé per se.
No, it's not. This is kind of
a
salmon.
salmon golden kind
Yeah.
of feel here. And then yet the flavors are really a dry wine.
Yeah.
By themselves are great. Go get, I don't know, remember Bugles way back?
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, they still make those like that. You take Bugles as a little thing with this, it'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay. I know I'm old. But
Dave's been enjoying the ocean today.
I
so-
have.
Yeah. So the other thing I like about rosés is I like the price points. You can get a really nice, this is Rocchioli fruit, and you're getting really nice wine for, what does this cost? $22 or $7 or something. So very reasonable price points, and you get some really nice fruit. And in the summer, it's the only way to go. I mean, you're
Absolutely.
crazy not to
Hot
dig
weather,
that.
little rosé, perfect.
Yeah, and if you, I mentioned this, I don't know, last week or the week before, I went over to Roth Winery, and they had this carafe that had this tube inside of it where you put the ice in the tube.
Yeah.
And it doesn't enter any water into the carafe, but it keeps it perfectly cold. That's very cool.
It is.
For this kind of wine out by the pool, that's pretty neat. And if you don't have a pool, get a hose and like a sprinkler.
Or maybe a slip and slide.
A slip and slide, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Something like that. But anyway, yeah, this is. But it also too, seriously, in meal planning, you can go pretty spicy, and this will hold up quite
totally,
nice.
totally will.
Right?
Yeah.
You're if you're gonna go Thai food maybe, or sushi or that kind of stuff,
Absolutely.
right?
It's light enough to do that. It still has enough flavor profile going on, so you can stand by yourself if you want.
I know, and Andrew's going, just shut up and roll the damn dice. Well, yeah, because we wanted to do a couple of white and/or / rosés, and then we're going to get into the big wines, because Seven, the big seven.
7. Went from 8 to 7 now.
Happy 7.
So was that on camera?
Yeah,
That's
I have
on
that
the
second camera on.
Excellent. So we now have 7, which is
Oh, you're going to have lots of happy people on that one, especially on your team.
Looking like a white wine from Bonneau Vineyards.
Yeah, wow, there you go. 2012 Los Caneros Chardonnay from Bonneau Wines. There is nothing wrong with that.
No.
Now, when you talk Chardonnays, you got to talk two different camps for people.
There really are two different styles.
Yeah, big time, right?
You've got more of that steel fermented tank stuff, which gives you a little more acid backbone, a little more austere quality to it.
Yeah.
But then the other side is that more traditional, about 10 years ago, you have that malolactic, buttery kind of softness to it. So you have two different textures, two different flavor profiles from the U.S. world of Chardonnay, and Bonneau does a softer style, a little more round, a little more butter.
I was going to clean my glass out with the wine, but I cleaned it out pretty good just by drinking it. How weird is that? So, well, and there people are clearly in two different camps.
Right.
Yeah. I've only had that one sip, and I can't talk.
I understand.
And this leans into that oaky buttery, but it's more creamy, I think. It's not
This is
over the
definitely
top.
creamy,
It's 2012, again, great
there's
vintage.
barrel aging here. There's a lot of great qualities of barrel making here. The Coopers, there are 3 Coopers that they blended together. They're from Central France, which I just read about, so I want to share
Wow,
with you.
that's pretty smart stuff.
There you go. Yeah.
3 different Coopers, huh? Wow. Hey, Karina, I'm competing a little bit. We turn that stereo down just a little bit.
Baseball game?
Yeah, we have the All-Star game that I'm competing with, which is okay. It's not a problem. You can multitask. It's all right. You know,
I understand.
turn the sound down on the game. Keep it up on your TV.
My last
have
name
your
is Batt,
laptop.
so
Huh?
my last name is Batt. So
Bat, right? Yeah. So you're up to bat. Yeah. Let's see. So retail on that is 34 or something like that. 34. I should ask you. You should know.
Depends on how much money you want to make.
Oh, that's true.
No, it's great.
Yeah,
It's
if
great.
you're in the oaky buttery world, you're leaning.
And
heavy
you know
into
what?
that.
You know what? For Bonneau, the Bonneau brand, what they do is they price it where you can enjoy it for a really great value. But this kind of malolac smoothness and everything else, this clearly would be priced many times, depending on the winemaker, many times higher.
Yeah.
So it's good.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, and then the other vintners that we have, some of them have a little less malolactic. They might break it down to 75 or 80%, so it has a little less creaminess.
Well, I think that's great. What's great about the portfolio you have here at Cellars of Sonoma is that wherever your palate is, there's something that's going to represent that.
Yeah.
And this one definitely goes to that bigger style, that style that has been living and breathing classically in the Chardonnay that comes out of Sonoma.
Yeah.
It clearly is enjoyable. There's a lot of complexity to it because there is oakiness. It's not purely tank fermented.
Yeah, but it's not over the top, and that's part of the argument that people have when they come in and taste Chardonnays. And some people shy away from the oaky buttery wines that would be classified as oaky buttery
Yeah.
because they've been getting those ones that are way over the top.
Oh,
where it's
you're
just
right.
too much. So they
used to. There was a term they called Monster Chardonnay from California, right?
Yeah, that
That
Rombauer,
big oak stuff.
Rombauer had
They did those.
flag for all
You
that.
know what? Even now they're much more balanced. But so the oak would talk to you. And oh, by the way, there's some fruit. And now it's all about the fruit and the balance and everything else.
Yeah.
John Bamberry does a great job on this for his. But really, across your lineup of the Chardonnays, you have 4 or 5 different styles that give you a chance to try many different styles that find the one you like.
Yeah, and we may be able to introduce next week our newest winery, which is Moon Dance, and Orchard Station is their second label for white wines.
Okay.
And the approval process is moving right along. I gave some paperwork to the right folks that need to get
Paperwork is important.
that. Yeah, I think we'll have it.
Compliance.
We may have it for this weekend. Once it's actually approved, then we can sell it in the room. It's in the room now, on the wall over there. But yeah, we're just waiting for that. And if it gets approved, then we'll introduce that brand next week, I think, and that'll be kind of fun.
So on TV Tuesday Live next
Yeah,
week,
I think
we'll
we'll
be talking about Moon Dance.
Yeah, I think we will, and be tasting that. You'll get to meet.
Now I know that Arthur Murray Dance Studio just opened up here, a year ago.
Uh-huh.
Maybe they can come down and do a moon dance.
Do a moon camp. Oh, okay.
Maybe not.
Okay.
I guess not.
We could ask them.
I don't think we'll do that. But
They might. You never know.
okay.
And I just wanted to remind those of you that are traveling from other parts of the country, coming to wine country, another cool event that we do, we pour at, in fact, we're a sponsor, is Barbecue. And it's August 8th, so it's actually coming up pretty quick here in a couple of weeks. Here's if you can zoom in on that card, maybe. I'll hold it really still because I have really good, notice my hand doesn't show. I'm holding my hand. Oh, it doesn't show. This is the coolest, one of the coolest wine. I'd say it's at least in the top 3. The most cool one is Labor Day weekend showcase of Sonoma at McMurray Ranch. Is pretty cool. This is being held at Robert Young. If you've never been to Robert Young, killer wines, great facility. Wow, and it's up on the hill overlooking a 360 of the entire valley. It is
True.
Absolutely fabulous. What happens here, if you love cigars, they have cigar vendors throughout the area that for tasting. They have wineries, will be one. They have Lagunitas for beer. They have spirits, a whole bunch of spirits. So I mean, vodka and
Some
gin
chocolate items and things, some food items too.
food
as well.
items. They got a
Yeah.
whole barbecue. So they're going to sell out. So if you want to go to that, you need to go to sabarbecue.com online, get your tickets. If you come in the tasting room, I've got a sign up thing.
It's
where you can-
August 8th, 4 to 8 p.m.
Yeah,
I
this
know
is a-
that because I just read it from right
there.
Right
But
there.
it's pretty cool.
And
Yeah, you
but it
you
is.
went last year.
I did
Yeah.
go last year. It was really windy up there.
Yeah.
The wind was kicking up all the while.
But it was
Yeah.
beautiful. What a
And this
frickin'...
this is a benefit. This benefits Meals on Wheels.
Yeah, it sure does.
Yeah. So it's a cool thing. Too,
Yeah, they'll
for that
raise a
reason.
bunch of money for that. So that's really cool.
Have
That's
you
a
been
neat... it's a wine country at its best. It's pretty cool.
Try and make it happen.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite because you come home with a bunch of cigars, and I love cigars. So,
I know. I sell them to him.
Yeah,
What?
because I can appreciate that. So anyway, that's coming up, wine country. Yeah, we're pouring the Amorosa Bella Sparkling, and then I'll have a selection from each of the wineries there. I usually pick one. It's one of the events that I absolutely make the vintners let me pour. I just do it. I don't like to do a lot of, we get invited to a million
Yeah.
events to pour, and most of them are just drunk fests where they just go whack, 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 and they're knocking
Yeah.
it back. So you're really not selling wine. Every single year that we've done and poured at Barbecue, we've written wine club members, and they've come back to the tasting room and bought tons of wine. I mean, that's really cool.
And
So you
really,
get
a lot
good-
of notables from this area show up there as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Guy Fieri shows up. We had what's that football player? What's that? Larry Allen was
Larry Allen.
there. In fact, I have a football signed by him.
Do you?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Hall of Famer. That's pretty. That's
Did you spell it right when you faked it? Or
yeah,
did you
right.
get-
No. It's legit.
Oh.
No, we got to meet him. It was cool. So yeah. Anyway, great event. That's a neat wine country event. The other one is Showcase in Labor Day weekend at McMurray Ranch, as you know.
Which, yeah. is
That's-
amazing, yeah.
The good Lord went like this. Cool place. I'm making a cool place, and it is one of those. I've seen a lot of vineyard stuff, and you have as well. That one's
Yeah,
that,
definitely
that's-
is.
yeah,
Definitely is.
yeah. All right.
Wino Chardonnay.
All right. So, shall we go into the wine club shipment?
I think we should.
Okay.
No, that's all red.
It's all red.
So you took care of the
Yeah,
diversity here.
Yeah, we
right?
wanted to just have a little break because these are going to. We're
So
going
you
to.
actually planned ahead. That's cool.
Yeah.
A couple times ago, like
Yeah.
maybe 2 weeks ago, we didn't plan ahead. So we
Yeah.
ended up.
No, I didn't plan to fail. I failed to plan.
Got it.
All right. So when you get your wine club shipment, and those of you that are in the, I reversed that. My first sip's already got their wine. My cellar club, your stuff is going out. I delayed it because the weather got hot, and I can only go once a week on the temperature controlled truck.
Uh-huh.
So I delayed it, and it's going to. I believe it's going to go out Thursday on temperature controlled to the real hot hubs, places like Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada, and Arizona.
Okay.
Those we send with ice packs because they're 1 day, 2 day shipping, so no big deal. And the other ones are GSO overnight. So it goes on a truck, stays on a truck, and it's delivered right away, and it's got ice pack with it, so it'll be nice and it'll take care of the wine. The other ones go on a temperature controlled truck to the hubs, 4 hubs in the U.S., and then it's transferred right to UPS, and so no big delays and
I
safe.
think that's great. And this will be a test later about
Yeah,
that. So.
yeah. So we just anyway.
GSOs, Grenache, Syrah.
No, it's not.
Oh,
Golden State overnight.
okay.
This
All
is T.R. Elliott. This is their 3 plumes. The menu, for those of you that are looking here in the room, it says Questy, but I laminated the damn thing, and I refuse to go back and waste my laminating pages because it says Questy, it should say 3 plumes, but the notes are correct.
Okay.
And the price and the date is correct. 2013. He made it from 2 vineyards, so he took 1 barrel from one vineyard, 7 barrels from the other, a hot 8 barrels, which is
Wow.
not much. Not much at all.
Right.
Not much at all.
About 25 cases each barrel, so
Yeah.
not much.
So, Karina, when you have a chance, I can get a tissue. That would be, there's one right underneath there.
Because he's getting emotional now.
No.
I know the wine is so good, right?
Yeah, it's making me cry. It's for you.
Oh, really?
Your chin
My chin
is,
is bleeding?
yeah.
Wow. On camera?
Well, it was, I didn't want it to, get in your glass.
Could that be red wine? No, probably not.
No. No, it's just, maybe you pick something in it.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's red. It's definitely red. Well, I'm trying to move forward here and not,
Hey, it's great. So we had
It's
wine
live,
number
man.
1, changing the subject, right?
Yes.
We have wine
So the
number
first
1.
wine, and for those of you that have been wine club members for a long time, you know that in the summer months I add a Chardonnay in the summer to the 2 hot months, which would be the June, July, and September, October.
Right.
But when I was looking at the wines, these 4 paired up so good and went together so well. I said, forget the Chardonnay. I'm not going to do it. I'll do one in the fall. These were too nice, and I was worried about.
I've never seen a wine club shipment for summertime that's all red, which I love because we always assume, oh, you have to have the whites in summertime. You really don't. I mean, I'm going to miss my reds if I don't have it sometime during the summertime, right?
Yeah.
So that makes a lot of sense.
But here was the other logic. This T.R. Elliott, the 213, he only made 8 barrels. And my worry was that if I waited till the next cycle for him to get that in there,
Okay.
it'll be gone. And then you won't get it at all. Oh boy, we're in deep trouble now. Oh boy, oh boy.
So Brad, who's usually
who's usually watching.
watching here.
He's not watching,
just
but he's
walked in the
watching
room.
live.
Just walked in the room.
So Brad is in the house, and he must have smelled the red wine because we were right at the top here. Anyway, that's why that was one of the other reasons that I said
Okay,
I'm going
that makes
to
a lot
leave that.
of sense.
I was worried we're going to lose a chance to have
Got
that, and I didn't want to miss it. Because when they're gone, man, they're freaking gone. I'm just telling you, I don't have a magic pill, I keep saying it every single week, but it's really true, man. I mean, it really is.
It's very nice.
Well, it really represents Russian River so nicely. I mean, it tells you that story. It's got the mushroom. It's got the
Very rosy. I mean, this is
yeah,
very rosy.
it's got that red cherry that you notice in the wine, and of course, you know, Pinot is as versatile as they come.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're trying to pair something up and you don't know what to do, that's Pinot's going to do it.
So tell me the story. Ted Elliott went out on his own from Sonoma-Cutrer.
Yeah, back
Sonoma
in the
Cutrer is
70s.
totally known about. I mean, they're all
They're
about Chardonnay,
all
right?
day long.
So how did he get into Pinot Noir?
Well, he always had a passion for Pinot, and he had some friends that owned some really nice fruit in the Hallberg and O'Connell vineyard, and so he liked the way that they were farming it, which is an important part of the process.
Right.
You know, when you have, unlike 12, 13, and 14, when you have difficult growing years like 10 and 11 were very difficult.
They were.
Cold
They were
summer.
difficult, yeah.
You have all these issues.
Things happened at the wrong time for the
Yeah,
farmers.
nothing's.
Totally.
Yeah, it's not working out in any
Sure.
in the right direction, no matter what you do. And when you have that, you've got to be a viticulturist and you got to be a winemaker. There's no question about it.
Right.
And he understood both sides of that coin.
So he started also doing Chardonnay, which he hadn't done before.
Not to my knowledge. Of course, this was the 70s, man. It's like, you know, early on in the game.
So he personally, while he was in his business world doing Chardonnay, started doing it personally as well.
Well, he did Chardonnay when he was with Sonoma-Cutrer.
Okay.
Then he went to Pinot for his personal wines, which is what we
Okay.
have here.
Right.
And then about 2.5 years ago, I said to him, Ted, you really need to add another SKU, and it shouldn't be Pinot. You're doing fabulous in Pinot, but when Mom and Dad, you know, lunch bucket come in from, you know, Iowa or someplace,
Sure.
she wants a Chardonnay and he wants a red wine, and you're taking your ability to sell wine down to 50%.
Right.
I mean, that's a big drop. That's a big drop. You miss any chance whatsoever.
So the businessman and you explained to him that, and then he did.
And then he remembered about his past in Sonoma-Cutrer and had some great contacts for fruit, and he came in with a bunch of different stuff, and we kept whittling it down, and then he came in with what became the Three Roses. And I think, let's see, this is 12, 11. I think it was 2011 vintage anyway. And I went, stop. That's it. That's the profile. And it's like we talked about before, where you have these oaky buttery, and then you've got a little less malolactic, so they're a little bit lighter.
Right,
And they move toward the ultimate on the other side, which would be stainless steel. He was trying to find the groove, and he started backing off on the ML and got the groove that he wanted, because he wanted the fruit, which you tend to lose if you go too far
Right, sure.
in the malolactic side.
Right.
And so, yeah, he hit it, and it hit a chord. And what makes it work really well is it works on both camps. So if you lean towards stainless steel, or you really don't like the oaky buttery, you're going to like his wine. And even if you like oaky buttery, you tend to like it too, because it's got some malolactic.
Nice.
So it's kind of hit a nice chord, as they say in music.
We're not
Nice.
talking music, but
No.
that's nice. I like
Yeah,
that.
nice chord. When you do it correctly, then that's right. And we blew through that vintage, and now we're blowing through this one. And
So here in the room, while the club is Pinot Noir, you have great Chard. I've had the Chard. That's why I'm setting him up for that, because I love the T.R. Elliott Chardonnay as well.
yeah, it's a wonderful wine, and again, a great complement to your dinner. Maybe you start out with the Chardonnay, and then you lay out the Pinot, and you kind of go through it, and that's why I like this shipment, because if you had a big dinner party, you could start at the top here and pour all the way through, and
Uh-huh.
you're going light to heavy.
Great.
Really classic light to heavy.
Which we're doing tonight.
Which we're doing tonight, which
we
we're going to do,
did number 1 so far.
and we're going to hit the Deering next. So good job, Ted, on that wine.
Love it.
Yeah, it's been a big hit. And what's going to happen at the end of July, so August 1st, we'll change the menu and mix in other wineries' wines. And then in September, we'll have a new wine club shipment, and the menu then will change. And that's kind of the pattern we decided we're going to do.
Excellent.
And so it kind of integrates everybody. We want to really talk about what the club's getting, because we don't care about the other people. It's all about the club. Kidding. No, we love all of you.
Well,
'Cause
it's a
if
good
you're not in the
club.
club, you're paying full retail, which is great for me.
Here's the money. Plus, this is a good cross section. Always, you choose this to be a great cross section. So
Yeah, and I don't pick these by mistake. Oh, Bum's in? Oh yeah, because it says SF on it. Is it? It's not blue, is it? It's black, right? Okay. I'm sorry, those of you that are watching from home that are not baseball fans, our TV is on. Karina, give them a shot of the TV so they can see what I look at when I'm looking directly at the camera. Well, you can do that, I guess.
that'd be
That's
great,
one.
yeah.
That's one option.
because they've always heard that.
Yeah.
They don't really see it.
Yeah, there they go. But yeah, you can see that.
So,
That's what
we
I'm
give it a
seeing.
Big screen here.
And so people do stuff and they make noise, and then I don't know what the hell. Anyway, this is Deering. This is their ideal, and I thought it really fit well in this portfolio. 2011. We'll talk about that year. Ideal. They call it a better red. It's a blend of Cab, Syrah, Petit Syrah, Zinfandel, aged in French oak.
I want to say something though. When you're going to say Cab Syrah and so forth again,
Right.
but almost always, we always start with what is the largest percentage, right? In wine.
Yes.
So when you did that, was that pretty much true? for
No,
that?
and here's the
He
thing.
broke the rule.
No. There's a reason why, and I brought it up to somebody yesterday. In fact,
Okay.
That scenario came up. What they said at the bar was, because I kept repeating that to guests as they
Yeah,
came in,
yeah.
and they go, "Wow, you must have learned that by repeating it over and over." I
Yeah.
said, "Well, yes." I said because. But the issue is I have to do it in that order or I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
And part of that is when I was growing up as a kid, I did theater, and in theater, you can't take your lines out of order,
Right.
or they don't match up, because you have to have the cue coming from the line before to know when yours starts.
Right,
So
okay.
my brain
I'm
thinks
glad
only,
I asked. This is interesting. Okay, so
but my brain only works in it forward. So in other words, I couldn't quickly say to you, it was Cab, Syrah, Petit Syrah, Zin. I couldn't quickly go Zin. Now I start to get lost.
Yeah,
when I
see?
go.
Okay,
so
so-
it only works in one direction. But I've been trained over the years as a kid, all those years of memorizing.
theatrical stuff. Yeah.
When you're memorizing lines, they have to be in that order. As soon as you take it out of the order, you're screwed.
So
if
the
you get
real-
the wrong cue from somebody, you're host. You're
So
like
the real blend is Chardonnay, Pinotage, and what?
the same. It's the same when I tell people about the Bordeaux grapes.
Yeah.
Okay. I always have to start with Cab.
Cabernet.
Yeah, I go
Merlot.
Cab, Merlot, Petit Verdot, Cabernet Franc,
Really?
and Malbec.
Malbec, yeah.
I have to do it in that order.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Honest to God, I
Because
cannot.
Petit Verdot is almost like that little spice thing.
I know. I can't pull it out of. I can't pull it out of the.
Got it.
It freaks. It stops me cold.
All right.
Yeah. If somebody interrupts me when I'm saying that,
You have to start over.
I'm going. Would you say the cue again? Go ahead. Go cue. All right. No, it is true. I swear.
We're gonna
to
get
God.
you a teleprompter next time. How's that?
Oh, that'd be really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I can actually read. Kind of. Well, kind of.
I heard otherwise.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
so Deering Winery, everything except for the Zinfandel is Mayakama fruit. in Kenwood, there's a road called Nuns Canyon Road, and it goes way up on the hill, and it goes up. I've been up to the top of their property, and I'm telling you that you can see the ocean, the mountains in the Sierras, San Francisco from up there. It's freaking up. It's cool. It's wicked cool.
It's like 1,400 feet up, right?
It's like, yeah, at least 12, maybe 12, 14, something like that, at the very top. But most of their stuff comes down the hill. And then in Glen Ellen, they've got Zinfandel, and that's the Zin. In the order of percentages, which is what got me to tell you about my past,
Yes.
which didn't make any sense. But anyway,
Yeah, I think it worked fine.
the Syrah is the biggest percentage. But the reason that I say it in the order that I say it is because on their tasting notes
Yeah.
that I have,
Uh-huh.
they started with Cab.
Ah,
So their notes
are
say
they going alphabetical?
Cab, Syrah, Petit Syrah, Zinfandel. And it's not, percentage-wise, it's not. It's more more Cab Syrah. It's more Syrah.
Syrah.
It's more Syrah, then Cab, then Petit Syrah, then like 1 or 2% Zinfandel.
Wow.
Yeah. You got a question? Yeah, go
Brad's
ahead.
got a
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
So what would determine the blending percentage? So
That's a
say for me, for color.
that's a great question, and we have Brad Harder in the house. Brad's in the house.
Normally
tonight.
he's on.
Normally he's in
with
Wyoming.
you guys
Yeah.
texting away here with these questions.
So the question is, what determines the percentage? Well, you've got a bunch of factors, and this is where winemaking, this is where you have to be a good winemaker, and this is where I get excluded. I get pushed aside. So where they go, well, you go sit over there. We'll give you something to drink later. Here's the factors. Number one, each of those varietals are in their own individual barrel, and some of them could be in a new barrel, a 1 or 2 year old barrel, or a neutral barrel, or a different Cooper's barrel, right? So you have that.
So
as-
the neutral barrel is not Republican or Democrat?
no.
Yeah.
It's the guy who can't make up his mind.
Right,
He sits
okay,
on the
got it,
fence,
yeah,
and
okay.
it's the one we really want.
Actually, the one that doesn't impart any.
Yeah, nothing. They don't do
Oh,
anything. Yeah, they don't do
yeah,
a damn
okay.
thing. So you have that. So for one varietal, you could have 4 or 5 different barrels, which will impart completely different flavors and profiles. And then each varietal has their own profile.
They do, actually, yeah.
And then, like you and I saw when we did the disgorging trials for Amorosa Bella,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
they brought out that big, long,
Graduated cylinder.
graduated cylinder. I call it a beaker, but it's not a beaker. It's a
No.
graduated, like you use in science fairs.
Science class.
Yeah, and it's got all the what's it,
Millimeter
milliliters,
things in there.
right?
Yeah.
Markings all the way up. And that's when they start to blend among all of those factors. All of those scenarios are sitting in various glasses or cups or things, and they're going to go 10% of that, and they go, oh, that brings it to 15. All right, let's taste that. Now you got
Let's try that, vote on that. Now
so you
let's try
got
it
rows
differently.
and rows of glasses, and you're just going, this is, I don't know, 10% this, 5 of that, 6 of that. That's what that one is. This one, and they go right, and they go through.
Exactly.
And so then they start to hone that down. And the interesting part, especially in red wine, not so much in sparkling, because once sparkling goes in the bottle, which is early in the game, it stays in the bottle, and it is what it is. You don't blend.
Well, you're
after.
talking about blending too, and I'm going to answer your question in a second because I think you asked varietal, what the different varietals impart on the blend, which we'll talk about in a second. But also, I had the opportunity and actually the privilege to participate in a trial tasting for the preliminary tasting at John Bamberry's place for the Bonneau that's coming up in 2 years.
Okay.
And what we did was taste barrels from different Coopers.
Oh, cool.
All right, so now we have Coopers from central France. We have Coopers from northern France. We have Coopers from American oak. We have American oak. We have the neutral barrel thing going on. We have the 3 years used, which is not too much oak. First brand new time we used it, lots of oak. So we went ahead and we did, I said, John, what are we going to be tasting? A couple of different styles? He said, no, we have 43 different barrels we're tasting, and we're going to decide what's best, what's second best, what's third best. And we worked our way through that enjoyably.
Yes, I
I'd
guess,
say.
yeah.
Lots of notes. The notes later on were a little bit more shaky, but we did spit most of the time.
Did you? Okay.
But
Spitting, what is that?
again,
Oh.
you have the coopers, the forests from which the wood comes from, how many years it's imparting into that particular batch. And then they ultimately have to decide how we make all of this come together into one batch, which is one bottle that
Yeah.
you taste.
Yeah. And the other added part to that, that process, or part of that process, has to go on the entire time you're aging the wine because it keeps changing.
It does change.
It's changing and changing, and as you, in red wine, the wine is in the barrel, but maybe every 2 months, you pump that juice out of the barrel into a stainless steel tank, and you clean the barrel out, and then you pump that juice back in, and now
Yes.
now it's changing again. And so what you thought was going to be this might be that, and so you got to keep modifying that thing as you go along, and that's very complicated. And that's why I don't make wine, because to me, all of that is work. And that is work, it's a job, it's not, I don't have the passion for it, and if you don't have the passion, don't do it.
So let me just answer directly, because you asked the question. Varietals, the Bordeaux varietals are Cabernet and Merlot. Both of them come together and create a more full presentation of the wine. The red, we're talking about the red varietals.
Yeah.
You also have Malbec. Malbec is used in the chemistry set that we all learned way back when we were in junior high. Malbec is the one that adds more intensity to the color. It's the black grape, Malbec.
Yeah.
It's the black grape. So you need more color in this. I'm going to add a little more Malbec. I have Petit Verdot. Petit Verdot is more that little spicy little green edge of it put in there. So by the time you're done with all of your varietals, and by the way, you have Zinfandel in this and
Yeah.
so forth, which is more of the fruit, the lusciousness of the fruit. You have this palette of different colors that are palette as in taste profiles, and you create what you think is the best expression of your particular vineyards and what you want your house style to be.
That's right.
And it's artistry, and there's so many
And
different
you,
decisions
and you
to
better be
made.
really good at it, because you can make a big mistake,
You
big
can make-
time.
Well, it might taste really good right now, but in a year from now, it might not.
Well, and the thing of it is, once you pull the trigger to the cellar and say, okay, here's the formula, this is the way you're going to blend it, you can't pull it back. It's not like you go, whoa, wait, you got to do it. Ah!
Yeah.
It's too late. It's like done. So, yeah, that's all winemaking, and man, you better pay the big bucks for the winemaker. You're going to spend some money. Spend it on the winemaker, because yeah, you don't want me doing that blending. I can do the trial tasting though. I can taste and tell you what tastes good. I can do that, but don't make me do pump overs. When I worked at Pine Ridge, they have caves, and in the caves they have pump over stations where the barrels are brought, and then they pump them into the steel tanks that they have set in the station, and then clean them out, and then rack them back up, and then pump the juice back in. That's just labor. God, that's awful. I would
You don't
never.
want to work too
No.
You're good for tasting, though. Tasting's
No,
good, though,
I'm
right?
good. Taste.
Yeah, there
I'll
you go.
taste that juice all day long.
I hear you.
But oh my God, that's manual labor beyond belief. But God bless them, they do a hell of a job, and they do hundreds of barrels a day. It's
So
crazy.
let me honor the sommeliers of the world, because ultimately, after you do all your work, their bottle arrives at the restaurant, and now they have to sort out how to describe the achievement you've obviously made in making
Yeah.
your wine, and somehow communicate to their guests how this is going to express itself for them.
Yeah.
And your great effort is going to ultimately be, by the critics, be rated, but then by the sommeliers being sold to the individual customers, whose profile, if a sommelier does his job correctly, her job correctly, they'll determine what a guest is looking for, and they'll slice and dice it. And it's all about the words we all express. I know you're working on words the other day on a wine.
Yep.
I've been working on words on wines. Somehow we have to describe to somebody how this is going to taste, and ultimately lead to somebody being satisfied of paying for this in a restaurant situation or in a retail situation, going home and tasting it. So it's artistry, but you got to be confident. And you're right, you got to pay your winemaker.
Because you got one shot to get it right, baby, and if you don't, it's this. See ya.
Growing all this stuff, and where did it lead? Nowhere.
The other part of it is if you have customers already that have bought from you before, they're expecting that level of quality to be maintained. The minute you lose that, he did it right. He went, bye bye. See ya.
Yeah, you
well,
went by.
and it should be that way because there's hundreds of wineries. You got lots of choice. So either step up and do it right, or get the heck out of the way, because somebody else is going to come in here and kick your butt. And that's just the way it is. When we pick wines in this room, if we don't like every single thing that they make, we don't bring them in. And they're not here today because of that. And if you're going to make really great wine, you're going to be consistent across the brand, or I don't want it. It's a pain in the ass.
So let me make a commercial message then for, now there's a new vintner joining you, and you did the same, you went through the same process, right?
I did the same thing with Heidi Barrett. I told her right to her face, I said, Heidi, look, your reputation was here well before you walked in the door. You're probably one of the most well-known winemakers in the world, without a doubt. I said, but we're going to treat you the same way as I treat every other vintner. I'm very confident we're going to like your wines, but I'm just telling you, we're going to put it through the panel tasting, and that's what we're going to do. And she said, I appreciate that. And that was a good...
But again, that's the confidence that somebody knows what they're doing.
Yeah, she wasn't worried. What the hell? She's like going, yeah, rock and roll. But she didn't give me a full bottle of Cab. She only gave me a split.
Oh.
Love you. I love her. Love her to death. She's the best. She's the best.
So this is
This is Bonneau Wines. This is their Sonoma Valley Meritage. 82% Cab, 16% Malbec, and 2% Petit Verdot. 22 months in French oak. About a third of that's new oak. It's mountain fruit, right below the Monte Rosso vineyard in the Ty Caton vineyard. Is where he's pulling that fruit. And I was there with Ty Caton many, many years ago. 5 years ago. Ty used to be in the room here. That is a exquisite property. And I have a 4-wheel drive truck, and we ditched it for his rig because, man, that was like this kind of crazy,
nice.
Like, geez, how do you farm this crap? But you know what? It's such a great location. The fruit's amazing. And right above that's Monte Rosso Vineyard. And I don't have to tell you, if you know, just look up the word Monte Rosso Vineyard. And I have to do a shout out to Louis Martini Winery, the Andretti Winery, made a wine. They put their name on the label, but Louis Martini made the wine, and it was a 1991 cab from the Monte Rosso vineyard, but it straddles the Sonoma and Napa side. So it was like 52% Sonoma, the rest was Napa.
so it doesn't
1991. Well, they just, that's all they said.
right.
Yeah. 1991 rocked the house. I mean, smoking good. That wine
Well, that
was.
vintage was amazing to start with.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Incredible. But it starts from the vineyard. And that's a 24-year-old wine. But you know what? When Louis Martini made wines, he told people, these are 24-year wines all day. Absolutely. He was right, because he had that damn great vineyard. They still own it today. It's owned by Gallo, just for people keeping track. I know that because my wife worked for Gallo. That's why I got to go there.
Gallo bought Martini.
Yeah, Louis Martini years ago. And I got to go with my wife, and she wouldn't let me drive. She drove their Suburban 4-wheel drive through that village. And that's another one of those way up top of the mountain. You can see the whole world up there, man. That's freaking cool. That's one of those.
I'm sorry, Suburban?
It was a Suburban Chevy.
No,
Yeah.
hot car, yeah.
And you know what they had at the top of that mountain? It was very
What?
interesting. You don't know this. Well, maybe you do. They had the original, it's still there, the original gravity-fed storage where they would bring the fruit up there, way up on the mountain, and they had it gravity-fed going down to the lower levels of the mountain, and this old building is still there.
Did not know they had that. That's cool.
I got to see it and walk to it.
You did.
I'm somebody.
Can I get your autograph later?
Yeah, $100. No way, it's 200. It's summertime.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So Bono
I'm
Wines.
doing a crowdsourcing thing now.
Yeah, yeah.
Kickstarter to make sure
Yeah.
I can pay for that. Because
All right, quick commercial for lobster lunch. A very quick commercial for lobster lunch. Lobster lunch is coming up the 25th. Tickets are selling. You have until probably Tuesday of next week, right? Because it's coming up the week, yeah.
Yeah.
Tuesday of next week to buy your tickets. And then we cut it off, and then that's the end of that, and life is good. It's going to be in the vineyard. It's the 25th. It is from 1 to 4, and we will be closed until Andrew comes in around 3 or 4 on that same day, because I got to go help them eat lobster. I mean,
so that's over at
prepare
Bonneau.
for the event.
That's a Bonneau,
It's in the Bonneau vineyard. It'll be all the Bonneau wines.
including the one we're having.
Well, we may be able to commandeer that if people want, and yeah,
right.
there'll be plenty of examples of the Bonneau wines that pair up magnificent. They cook in pots: lobster, shrimp, artichokes, potatoes, onion, corn on the cob. More freaking food than you can possibly eat. You'll come home with a baggie full of food. Well, you eat all of it. I saw your plate.
You're arriving. You're going to come
Yeah.
back, right?
Yeah.
You're flying in for that.
Yeah.
Brad's
No, he's
flying
flying in for the stuffed chicken at my house on the day before. Oh, maybe we're going to talk about that. Well, maybe that
that's
didn't work out.
that's
Okay,
off
all right.
air.
So it's a quiet thing. Sorry. The whole world knows now. Anyway. So Bonneau Wines, Sonoma Valley Meritage, and 2012. What can I tell you? What a great vintage year. I mean, just smoking good.
Nice.
All right. So when I was putting the wine club selections together, Super Sonoma was in line, and I said, you know what? I don't normally put two of the same varietal side by side.
Yeah.
But I thought it's a great example of number one, 12 being this incredible vintage. I mean, perfect all the way through. You didn't have to do a lot of work. It was textbook. Against 10 that you really had to work your butt off and really
Got
do
it.
some work.
Yes.
And
They're
when I
both-
tasted
they're
them,
both Meritage.
they're
wines.
both Meritage. This Meritage for Super Sonoma is 84 Cab, 11 Petit Verdot, and 5% Cabernet Franc.
Okay, so Cabernet Franc, I didn't mention before, Cabernet Franc, in that chemistry set we have, Cabernet Franc is about the nose. It's about what you when you start doing this, say, ooh, that smells like a great red wine. That's
Yeah.
Cabernet Franc
Yeah.
speaking to you.
Yeah. And I'm a big Cab Franc fan. I'm a big Malbec fan. But like I say, because I'm a junkie, I go out to the wineries on my day off normally, and I look for rosé, but I look for Cab Franc and Malbec. If I see a Cab Franc and Malbec, you have to make the worst wine on the planet for me not to buy that. I'm just that much of a sucker.
I love Cab Franc.
And I like the appellation Rock Pile. So if you want to buy me a gift, it's Rock Pile. Or in Napa, Howell Mountain. You can pick anything you want. I don't care what the hell it is. Howell Mountain, you're going to have a hard time making a crappy Howell Mountain wine. I love that. And you can throw a Rutherford in there too, because I like Rutherford.
Rutherford, yes.
Yeah. All right. This was aged in brand new French oak, 24 months. Also Mayakama fruit, but from the northern end of Mayakama,
Yes.
not the southern end, which is where the Deering winery came from.
So we just came off of a 2012.
Now we're going
Meritage,
backwards.
And now we're going to 2010.
2010.
And yet, as you taste this,
the
It's
nose
not,
is
this
just.
is not feeling like it's old at all. I mean, it's
No,
feeling like
no.
This has expressed itself even to
Look.
a greater nuancing.
I'll give you the quick on 10. As you know, cold summer. We had late rains. We had early threat of rain toward your harvest. You had
Which means I got to pick it now.
yeah, but it wasn't ripe, and so they pulled the leaves, and as soon as they did, you had 103 degrees, and
So they,
boom, you had
pulled the
just a-
leaves because they
want the
needed more
sun to-
sun to ripen it up.
Then you
But
got
wait a minute,
raisins.
103 degrees, which means, oh no, I have
Raisins.
nothing to protect me from the sun.
Oh,
So
you
they
should have
become
seen
raisins.
some of those vineyards. It looked awful, but the advantage went from grower to winemaker.
Yeah.
Because the grower doesn't want to cut anything out, and the winemaker wants you to cut out a bunch of fruit and leave just the really pretty stuff. Well, but when you have raisins, you're not going to harvest that anyway. So that had to come out, and so the vintner is going, winemaker's going, yahoo! But you had the threat of rain, so now you're balancing. You're going, God, the bricks aren't there, so you're doing, your what do they call that thing, that reflector? Spectrometer thing, and you're going, the bricks are not enough, but in 3 days you're going to have rain, and so you're calling your crews, and you're trying to
talking
get
about like we're talking
That's a
about Vegas kind of thing now.
Oh,
right?
yeah, you're rolling the dice,
I'm not
baby.
quite ripe enough, but if I wait a little longer, it might rain. I got these guys back here who have spent a lot of money in making this wine and putting this vineyard together. Is it going to be ripe or not?
yeah.
Is it going to rain or not? Is it going to screw up the crop? Or not?
And this is mountain fruit, so you had a little advantage there. Probably had some good sun. This is a great example of a vintage that just got destroyed in the marketplace, but 2010 in the bottle right now. I'm digging
it's
that
pouring
one.
really,
I'm
really
telling
well.
you, the 10s are.
Pouring really well.
And when you're looking at right, when you're looking for wine in the grocery store, and because you ran out of wine that we sent you, and so you don't know what to do, and you go, wow, I still need wine, and you go to the store to get wine, narrow it down a little bit, and you'll have a better chance of getting a nice bottle of wine. So narrow it down by appellation. Russian River, Alexander Valley, Napa Valley.
So when I go into Chevron, for instance, and buy
you're
a
in
bottle,
deep doo-doo.
that doesn't work that way.
No.
What AVA are you representing in your display of
If
wine?
you see the word California on it, you got to run down the road next to a Russian River. That's not a fair fight. So a wine like this, if it said Sonoma Valley or Mayacamas Mountains or Knights Valley or something like that, Chalk Hill, then you know it's probably got a better chance of being a quality wine. Did you have a question there, young man? So the question is, compare ageability with the last 3 wines. Well, first of all 3 of them were aged in French oak. The Bonneau was the least amount of new oak. The newer oak that you have, the more it imparts into the wine.
Right. Yep.
And I'm thinking that you've got these wines that can go 8 to 12 years like butter.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
nothing.
What's interesting is when you get a style like Super Sonoma, which is 2010 Mayacamas Mountain Meritage, that actually might go longer than something that's an earlier vintage. I mean, a later vintage, just because of the extraction in there and a lot of what he's put in there. There's a lot of soft tannins in there that are hiding right now that will carry it a little longer.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're really talking about a range of 2010 and during this all the way up to 2013. You know.
Well, and I want you to know something. And this is only by pure. This was not thought of. I didn't think about this in advance. In this shipment, you have 2010, 11, 12, and 13. Am I a genius or what?
Not.
That was like the roll of the dice.
Not.
I didn't realize.
Did you just discover this minute?
No, I discovered it well after I had already committed to doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, and I
Somewhere
went,
be-
oh, that's really, and so if you guys think I'm a genius, I love that and keep thinking.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But those are great years to compare.
They really are. So you got
So
some,
much going on.
You got all the most recent years. Ageability, I think you're with what we've tasted so far, we're in the same zone, a couple of years, give or take. You know, the 8 years is a great guess for sure. It depends on how you store it.
And this goes then back to what I keep harping on these small production wines. And yes, it's about sales, that's how we make our money. But it's also, if you really, really like a particular wine, I recommend that you buy a case or two of it and stash it, and then pull out a bottle every 6 or 8 months, and you'll really get a feel for where the wine's aging, so that you don't keep it too long, but you don't open it a little early and go, dang. Like that 1991, we opened that, probably could have gone a couple of more years, but you wouldn't have wanted to push that too damn far. So it was kind of cool that we got it at its peak. It was rocking.
But as a sommelier, I'm going to say something.
Yeah.
It's better to open it too early and then decant
too late.
it, then
Oh, yeah.
decant it
Yeah.
and work with it, than to open it too late and say, oh man, I missed the mark.
And one thing that we didn't do, and I'll caution you when you open up a wine that's that old, if you got something that's 20 years old like that, we didn't decant it. And Kevin said, I wonder if we should put it in the decanter. And I said, no. Let it decant in the glass. It'll be fine. And it slowly opened up. It was a little tight when we first had it. It was like, whoa, what happened to the fruit? And then it opened up, and we went, ooh, and we started to go, ooh, all the way through, and we go, ooh, 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 and we, yeah. And then what happened was other people got sequestered into out by the patio and the pool and all that. And so it was just Kevin and I, and Kevin's going, they're not coming in and tasting this. I go, keep pouring it, baby. It's just you and I. We're going. Because we let everybody taste it, because it's a pretty unique, you don't get a 24-year-old wine very often. And they went away, too bad. Big mistake, because it got better big time. We were going,
I like it.
We're going, wow, we're digging this. So,
Like
yeah, be careful about decanting those old wines. That you don't necessarily want to do that. Bye, guys. Thank you. See you later. Good to see you. Bye. Yeah, so, great ageability here, without a doubt. Especially
Thank you for asking. That's good.
Especially in the brand new French oak, man. If you ever get a chance to go to a winery and taste wine out of the barrel, a great example of that is Del Dotto, because that's all they do is they taste right out of the barrel in their formal tastings.
They're in Napa.
In Napa. Yeah. You really, when you see them side by side, they're dramatically different. I mean, they're just like, right? They're just over the top. And that's the new oak having that influence. And that's why you got to have a winemaker, because if you screw that up, you're toast. You're like, ah. So anyway, we're going long. We don't want to go long. So Karina, let me run through my music this weekend. So this weekend on Thursday, they're in order too. John Pita in the house. John was rocking with Adam Ritter, and then Gary Violin came in. And all three of them, yeah, you did.
Yeah.
And they were rocking, man. They were getting after it. Yeah, I got a phone call and they said, Gary called up and said, hey man, I want to play. I'm like, hey man, you're in. So then you got Ricky Allen Ray on Friday night. And you like blues, Ricky's solid, man. He does great stuff. And then Craig Corona, if you like James Taylor and that stuff, this guy can play. Yeah, he's legit, man. He's pretty cool.
Definitely is.
Good guy. So that's our weekend. Lots of fun and things to do. I wanna thank all of you guys for drinking the wine, because you guys are drinking the wine, and that's what we want you to do. I want to thank Andrew to make sure that we stay on track on getting the wine, and then Karina's keeping us going with her cameras and social media, and Brad is in the house. Brad's in the house. Yeah, gotta say hi to Brad in the house. Dave, thank you very much for coming in and entertaining us. And the All-Star game is still playing, so that's good. And this is where you discover wine, one sip at a time. Hopefully next week we'll have a brand new vintner. We'll let you know. Watch for the emails. Here it comes. And there
Thank
it goes.
you.
Bye now.